Imagine, there is a woman who lives in the suburbs with her husband. She's having an affair with a man who lives across the river in the city. Every Friday night, she tells her husband that she is working late, when she is actually with another man. One Friday night, she's had a little too much to drink but wants to go home. She asks the man she is with to drive her home, but he insists that she can go alone. She then continues to make her way by taxi to the ferry boat. When she arrives, the man at the ticket booth, who sees her every Friday night, tells her that he cannot sell her a ticket for the ferry because it is too late. She knows she is only a minute late and begs the man to let her on the boat, but he sends her away. The woman then decides that the best decision is to catch a cab and drive across the bridge, even though it will be more expensive. However, she cannot catch a cab. She proceeds to walk across the bridge on her own in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, someone jumps out from the bushes and stabs the woman. She dies. The question is, whose fault is it? Was it her fault for having an affair in the first place? Was it her husband's fault for possibly driving her to an affair? Was it the man's fault for not driving her home? Was it the guy at the ticket booth's fault for not letting her on the last ferry? These are all questions that might pop into your head, and it may seem like everyone, at least in part, is responsible for what happened leading up to her death. However, there is a right answer to the question, whose fault is it? The man who stabbed her is the only person at fault for the woman's death, because he is ultimately the only person who decided that the woman should die. If you thought that the woman was at fault, you have fallen victim to something called the fundamental attribution error. The fundamental attribution error is the tendency to overemphasize dispositional or personality-based explanations for behaviors, while underemphasizing situational explanations. For example, someone trips on the sidewalk. One person may think that it is because the person is clumsy, a dispositional explanation, falling victim to the fundamental attribution error, while another person may say that it is because the floor was uneven. This phenomenon can be seen all the time in our everyday life, and one of the most popular examples is victim blaming. People often say things like she was asking for it, or reference how women are dressed when they are raped. Recently, though, there has been a large push for people to recognize that no matter the personal attributes of the person, they are not at fault for being raped, which goes against the fundamental attribution error that we all have in our brains.